When there's parts of your song that are noticeably out of time, it can make your production sound a bit sloppy. Today we're talking about 3 of the biggest things that help me get out of that amateur sloppy zone into a better and tighter sounding final production. That's coming right up. What's up YouTube, Carol K here, and today I wanted to share a recent discovery that has helped me. And on this channel I release brand new music videos every single Friday, and I follow those videos up with some behind the scenes to talk about some of my discoveries and just to kind of share my creative process with all of you. So just this past Friday I released an old 70s song called I'd Really Love to See You Tonight, and it was a request from my dad. He'd been asking me for a very long time to record this song and I kind of just ignored him, but I was so glad that I finally did it because it ended up being like one of my favorite songs that I've recorded. In the process of recording this song, I just kind of found myself getting into a groove and I was layering things and I was really having fun with it, and one thing led to another. I was out from one instrument to like a whole stack of 40 different tracks. So it ended up being much bigger production than I initially intended. But when things turn out that way, it's always a good thing because you kind of go with the energy and see where things take you. But when I start out that way, I find that the end result of those types of productions leave me with a lot of things that need to be edited because a lot of things are out of time. So I came up with these 3 strategies and just kind of rough guidelines that allow me to be as creatively free within them as I possibly can without having to go back and manipulate the audio and match things and get things to sound tight after the fact. So tip number 1, if you have a rough idea of what you want in your production and all the different types of layers you have planned in your mind, record the MIDI instruments first. I cannot stress this enough, because MIDI is a digital instrument, meaning a software instrument that you have on your computer. MIDI is digital. Digital is quantizable. Quantizing is basically the process of mapping individual notes to the grid of your project. A lot of the time, whatever you do play in, you might have to go back and fix those notes because the computer isn't always accurate when you hit that quantize button. So you do want to do some quality control. In any case, if you're recording your MIDI instruments first, as many layers as you possibly can, you're basically laying your initial foundation of everything being perfectly in time. So whatever you record after that, you're building on top of something that's already solid. That is why I would say 100% tip number 1, record those first. Well, what happens if you don't have any MIDI instruments planned for your production and you're trying to record this lush guitar arrangement where there's multiple layers of acoustic guitar? Tip number 2, start your production with a scratch MIDI track. Now this could be some percussion that you play and loop for the remainder of the project, or it could be a layer of some piano chords that you play. Now the point of this scratch MIDI layer is to help you perform much better with that in your ears as a reference than it would be if you were hearing just a click. So there's a lot more you can feel when you're playing to something that is actually a beat or to something that is actually the chords that you're playing. You just end up playing better. Just imagine if you were doing a gig with a second musician or if you were playing alone. It's more likely that you'll get into a vibe and enjoy your playing and even maybe play more on time if you were playing with somebody else because there's something that you're using to keep on time. So in this situation, we're kind of mimicking that process, except we're using a perfectly quantized MIDI track in order to help enhance that performance. So that brings us to tip number 3, which is use flex time. This one's a fail-safe. It's after you've gone through the process of recording all of your MIDI instruments first as much as you possibly can, or you've started your production with a scratch MIDI track that you use to layer your guitar parts, but it's still sounding a bit sloppy. So you've got 2 options in this scenario. If your guitar part is too sloppy, then just please hit pause, go back, practice your part, and then do another take, because it's going to save you a lot more time to just practice the part, record it again, than having to use this tool that I'm about to mention to fix your performance. Plus, you want to spend more time practicing and getting better at your instrument than getting better at a tool that might be obsolete in 10 years. So playing an instrument never becomes obsolete. That's option number 1. If you are sounding too sloppy, you should go practice. Option number 2 is that if your part is only a bit sloppy in certain areas and it's only just a few parts that don't really warrant another take, then I would use FlexTime. FlexTime is a tool in Logic Pro that allows you to manipulate audio. So very much like MIDI quantizing, FlexTime is designed to kind of behave in the same way. So you could take a melodic or a rhythmic audio file in Logic, and it allows you to go in there, use the nodes that it automatically places, or you can kind of place them and move waves and map them to the grid. The reason why I recommend only using this sparingly is because you can literally lose hours of your life doing this if there's too much of it that needs to be done. But when there's only a little bit that needs to be done, it can be a huge time saver. So you gotta just know what you're dealing with and make a decision accordingly. I've literally done the opposite approach of everything I've just mentioned, and I've spent way too many hours on FlexTime fixing the entire performance from start to finish on multiple layers. And you can only imagine how long that takes, because you have to literally go into every single waveform. If I had kind of just mapped out a procedure on how to kind of go about these productions while allowing myself to kind of remain like I'm free to create and layer as many things as I want, then I probably would have saved myself a lot of time. But that's why you keep doing the things that you do so that you can learn, and I'm more than happy to pass on these nuggets that have really helped propel my music production. So I really hope this video helped you as much as this discovery has for me, and if you did like this video, please hit that thumbs up button. If you're new here, consider subscribing, because I come out with videos every single week, and I'm doing a lot more of these behind the scenes because it's super fun to let you guys in on my process. If you guys wanted to know what kind of gear I'm using, I've actually left a lot of the links down below, and full disclosure, those are affiliate links, so whatever you use to purchase, I just wanted to say a big thank you, because I receive a small commission on the sale, and whatever I do receive, I pour back into this channel to help create better and more valuable content for you all to enjoy. So thank you so much again for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.